Morning, everyone. We're going outside to put the flag, the Chunluguk flag, in our flagpole, and then we come in and we do some singing, and we'll do the pledge. So now everyone is outside. So to see you outside in the flagpole.
Very slow, when I meet up the Lord, don't forget, take it some wrong way.
Mm.
And then, you see anybody there. Let them go. Go ahead. Everybody knows the Lord. Of course, they will not do take up. Alright? They're also not. What else happened?
Mine says.
Okay, what is Ezra?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Papa.
Yeah, what's the plan? It's supposed to be the plan, right? Where are you? Hello?
Hello, Papa Tito.
Yeah, where are you?
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, let's do the plan.
Okay, I'm coming in 1 second.
How are you? Good to go outside. Now, we're going to do some work. Do the plan. Rosana? Okay, let's go. Ready? Let's go. Ellie, come on. There you go. Keep flying. Don't waste time. Mama Caro, let's go this way.
Hi, good boy. How are you? Hi.
So, like, there's like some right I don't, yeah, and it's just so like, so it's for social media, they don't want to meet out. But like, there's some classes that like, I'm with class, and I'm like, oh. So, like, they, the benefits is like, I thought it was really cool. So, so like, most people all already friends with, so. Like they need to be friends because it was fun when they're new friends, like I get friends with them. I don't know for me, like if people talk to me, yeah, like people talk to me, it's like don't act like you're standing around. Like I'm just like is that like your personality that you're shy because that's probably let's say it's not shy. I mean oh, I see a whole class where but this is Wait, we're in class every single day. And we don't switch classes and say, so what do you talk about?
Not popular, it's not popular. I don't like being popular.
Like, my school is school, so I don't think I'm popular, and even amongst the next graders, but like, I have a couple of friends. I don't know how to like, I'm afraid that school, I'm like introverted, so like, I try to talk to people with and I don't like, I mean,
Yes,
yeah, I have other friends, like, I made more friends.
I only know that the friends that you had in middle school.
Yeah, I'm still friends with people that I'm not friends with anymore, because it's being healthy, but.
Okay.
Like the personality. But like, I don't know, they like,
And if they want to split up,
like
they're
there's
all
all
children, we have so many different schools.
like, with that,
What are our
friends that I'm already friends with, they can be friends, and like, when they're with their new friends, like, they talk to me and I talk to them, and like, I'm friends with their friends, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
I have great friends.
No, she's introverted, she's not a like, if I was in a clear couple of kids, like, I wouldn't just walk in there, I wouldn't just walk through a couple of kids trying to get in there.
I don't want to
Really, if that's them, then I'm not gonna walk in there, I'm not gonna try to become.
You don't make too much friends. It's not fun.
Yeah, you don't have to make.
Because some people make mistakes. They don't, a lot of people are mistaken. Don't make too much friends. That's why I
TikTok, so most students, I'm trying to do it. I mean, my teacher was interested in you know, the one.
just so
Good.
Oh,
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, great. I don't know how to win this practice.
I wish I could go
What
with
do you
you.
like it? Is church start actually good now?
No, 10.
Well, you said you're
My
and really identify.
Being introverted in high school.
That's fine.
Do you want to know first of all? They are very,
Let's look this around here.
very little time difference. I mean, since second grade.
Little girl.
They're just different.
She talks to you first.
No. But Julie said that, she got her thing with friends, and she said, and we started talking about Roblox, and then we went to school.
I'm going to go.
That's how we could be friends. And Freddie, she just, so we just became friends. I mean, I told her it's what and then we started.
Yeah, I know Freddie.
And like, the thing is, our school,
It's really shy.
no, it's really like,
Wait for the ladies to pour.
there's always every argument.
Bro, Chris, you know something about
There's like these two people in my class that are just so annoying. And then there's a big name right now, like my best friend, and I don't even know her at all and stuff. And then she always comes to me in the bathroom, and I'm just like so like, culture is the same. I'm not gonna be friends with her. Like, she's always doing stuff, and she's like, yeah, she's there, right? She's my best friend. She did her best shit. Yeah, she did somebody she loves. She's like, and she called her the name. She curses.
Who doesn't curse?
What are you doing? You doing now? Something?
No, I'm talking about people in the other school. Everybody curse. I'm not talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
I mean, yeah, everyone curses. Their school curses.
There's people, what,
Everybody
mom?
curses, everybody.
Everybody else.
Every single school, there's always people who curse.
Exactly, so why you come for me? I did, like,
What's wrong with you?
All of us are there.
I think in the market. Oh, these Jesus.
Really, what we know.
It was like snow. Hey, I forgot my baby. Nah, I lost my baby. You should have got me. Why do you need it? I got stuff.
No, it was like snow. Come on, what's going on? Why you mad? Yeah. Yeah. I used to. I don't know. Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Why is there a drama? Because I hear exactly. I can't hurry. Because I was mad. Can't move me out for no way.
Okay, Mama. 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 You played this morning downstairs. Do best. Do best. See? Mommy, what's the plan? Come on, Mama. Go back.
What? But did you see that TikTok something with like girl? That little revolution thing? Oh, I found it. Wait, no. Here. You know the dance? Oh gosh, you know the dance. Hmm? You know what dance? You want to dance on her? Wow. She knows this one. 24 to 23. That one? Yeah.
So ugly. Oh my god.
Oh gosh, she knows the dance.
I'm so ugly. You gotta get girl ugly. No, you can't.
I'll come down. I hate snow, but the only thing I like about it is eating it. Let's go downstairs. I'm going. Don't say it here, but I eat snow.
Oh, okay. But she wasn't a friend. She started to apologize. I was from her, some people started to together and stuff. It was very nice. All my church. Sarah said she just told me that she didn't want to do something. She started and she called Julie and stuff, and I knew it was me. And then I was going
I was trying to share it over. I'm not sure. She's like, why? So, I have a meeting. I know, it was me. I was like, but that's the problem. I can't just that's the problem. So, wait, how do I do it? One of the things the problem. Yeah.
How about me keep my money until I find my wallet? And if I just fall off,
Yeah. And then, next week, Tom, I was like, so I was trying to clear my mouth. Hey, God, yeah.
Okay. Now the.
This year, this year.
It's red. We keep it.
Yeah, I saw that video.
that was like me.
Like this. Like that. Like that. Leave battery. Elijah. Leave battery. You got big light? Big light? I was thinking to manage it like that.
Salam alaikum. You have blood packet? You have my blood packet? Yeah, but for now, you can use. I want church.
Feel like one woman, I didn't see the color of the money. Everything.
Welcome to our Sunday service after our flag raising with the Chunago flag outside. This is the first song. When I behold the Lord. Soon as you shall be virgins, pure and quiet, come and behold the new heart, heaven and earth reborn. Now I behold Jerusalem, city of loveliness, gently standing far apart, ever to be my home. Long as the Lord is near, joy evermore experience, river of precious life. God is eternal, burdened behind his side, and grace will start and fall, shining the sun of day, making glory brightness, full of the tree of life, talking upon his soul, God is the shadow of death. Every part of me, sinful and bruised my soul, still I can grace be purified, giving creation to me. Let it be in his guidance, shining with golden light. All that is love and kindness, all this is love for me. All this is love. and darkness, always is love. Yes, is love and darkness, always is love. So let's go to the opening prayer. So let's call on our Mr. Elijah to give us the opening prayer.
Let us pray. Beloved, Heavenly parents, true parents, the absolute most spirit word, thanking of Lord, true parents. We are so grateful and thankful to come before you this morning and this Sunday, February the 13th, 2020. We just usher in the 10th year of Germany after true parents laid the clear foundation upon which we stand today. And Heavenly Parents, we are so grateful for the World Summit going on in Korea. So far, it has been a great victory with the highest numbers of head of state attendance. The seed has been planted for the substantial reunification of the Korean Peninsula. All this based on two-parent foundation, where 30 years ago they risked their life going to North Korea and meeting Heavenly Parents, the one who would be called the worst enemy. But in two parents' eyes, they never have an enemy. Through the power of true love, they can win the heart of enemies and lay the foundation upon which Heavenly Parents you can walk and you can be at the center of the reunification of North and South Korea. And we know the outcome will be the realization of the world of everlasting peace. There are so many of your sons and are desperate, willing, and expecting. Even the United Nations worked for 60 years, but they have not seen true peace. And then today, the true UPS, Universal Peace Generation, is showing the path how true peace can be realized when God is at the center, and where all of us are called and deserve this morning. So the one who have chosen so that Heavenly Parents, it can really nurture our spirit and lift it up in the way we can be able to deepen the incarnation, embodiment of that truth where we live. Heavenly Parents, in the way that we create an environment that becomes a market of true love that attracts naturally your sons and daughters. Heavenly Parents, we raise up the new flag of John book in this church. Heavenly Parents, your spirit will shine from this church, and Heavenly Parents, the promises that we made to you to true parents to take over the legacy of our true parents from now on. Heavenly Parents, that we raise up this flag of John book. We will claim this place and we will claim Washington D.C. over everything that you have in the name of all brothers and sisters gathered here, and in my name, Elia, the progressive family, owners of Chairman.
Adieu. Thank you, Mr. Elijah. Now let's sing the song of the banquet. Let's join the Los Angeles Family Church. Now we say the gift of life and dancing the joy of eternal sing. Behold, and on earth, join us in praising this day. Bless us to share. Us will be faithful thee. Hallelujah. Glorious day of dawn. As we stand in awe before, ready now to hear our prayer. As heaven's soul proclaim, we will sing the word of love. Glorious King, mighty God, filled with blessed grace. His dearest one, holy man, with our one. Hallelujah. Glorious day of dawn. Overflowing with love, God proclaims eternal life. Earth and heaven come surround, the glorious parents love and pride. Sing their song, fragrant and love. Tell all the world, bring us down eternally. Hallelujah. Glorious day of sweet as love eternally. Hallelujah. Glorious day of Let's sing the Chinook anthem. This is the one that we raise the flag outside. Let's sing it beautifully as we can. Up on the earth, there rose a God, who tidings of all.
as the world blossoms in freedom, earth and heaven are one. As my oceans rise in praise, sings continent. Redraw 2,000 years, even to the book, holy land of God. Light shines in heaven's light, vibrant colors above. In the blue light of the Spirit, through the fire. Ocean rising praise, sings continent rejoice. Peaceful for the mountain peace in the jungle, holy land of God. Of pure light, shines in glory. I must praise source of the mountains, and praising to Thee. As my Lord rising as my ocean rising praise, sings continent rejoice. Not before 10,000 years in the eternal holy land of God.
Okay. Now let's call on our Reverend Ezra to lead us to the family pledge number 4.
Let us make one standing bow to our cosmic King of Kings and cosmic Queen of Queens, our heavenly parent, our victorious, triumphant, true parents of heaven and earth and all humankind, and the true children. Chariot, Kyombe. Barrow. Family pledge number 4. Our family, the honor of children good, pledges to build a universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the heavenly parents.
So we have a cake for February 13th, and this encompasses also the wedding anniversary of our true parents. Last week we celebrated their birthdays. So in Korea, where they have cake cutting also. So let's call on our senior pastor to lead us in the cake cutting.
Okay, all right. Yes. For those one couple, yes. Okay,
Okay. Brothers and sisters, this is for the celebration of the 9th anniversary of Foundation Day. That is beginning the on the 10 years that we are going to start tomorrow. So this is one of the greatest ways. Yes, also I think it's surprised because it happened that it's within an open group that is in the cloud. So this is the God making. This is God making ceremony. So let's take it to God and then really understand the significance of this moment. So God is saying, happy anniversary to our heavenly parents and to God. Okay, all here. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to One, two, three. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you.
So we don't have any more greeting time. At least we know everybody. Let's welcome our sermon giver today for the holiday today. Our senior pastor, John Peter Solomon.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning. Yes, even though we are focused, that what we have to understand is the significance of the day today. And you know, when I was looking at the screen, I saw this 40th anniversary. That was in 2017. And then I thought those were 40 years already of the existence of this building. 40 years. But we left here, or our elder brothers left here, with a sad remembrance of this place. Sad remembrance. We said, because of Columbia Road, I have accomplished this. Because of Columbia Road, we have done this. All what he said is that the building is sucking money. The building looks just like a third world country building. And people who are there are just like homeless. So we are here to suck money. However, when we look at what we can see today, even based on the speech that took place today for this building, we're going to understand that there were mission and responsibility that were left. Nothing was accomplished. Nothing was accomplished. So the reason this place was brought up was to proclaim the kingdom of God here, from here. I don't know whether we did in 2013, but we can't proclaim it because the flag is right outside. We just put the flag today, right? Yes. We just put the flag today. And when I calculated, when I was looking at this 40th anniversary, we go to 44 anniversary on 70 days today. Wow. 44 years and 70 days. Because the anniversary, even though it was the second, but it should be on the 4th, December the 4th. And when you calculate, it gives you 69 days today. From last December till February the 13th. So tomorrow is going to make 70 days after the anniversary. That is the celebrations for the anniversary, 44th anniversary of this building. And this is very, very significant. So your presence here is so critical. Sometimes when we listen to people talking, is that we don't know even who we are. We don't even know when God is visiting us. We don't know when God is only talking to us. We don't know. And this is a serious problem for God. Serious. So what is foundation day? Are we here? What is foundation day? I think since we took time really to do everything that was needed and cutting the cake, we still have really to go through the message and prepare today. We need really to understand the foundations of Cholingo, which means that the foundational work that has been really established, done by our footprints. It wasn't just that footprints say, okay, January 13, 2013 is going to be foundation day. But there was a groundwork that was done. A groundwork that was done. And that work, we need to really understand it. It's only when we connect to it that we know the value. Because sometimes when you buy diamond or gold, you don't know the big work the miners have done to do in order to bring that diamond. They work a lot. Some people who pass all their life just digging, ready to get that diamond. The work that our people have done is so significant. So, what we can understand is that God was supposed originally to be in the position of a king. I know sometimes when we read the Bible, Jewish people are ready to make God their king. But it wasn't the right time yet for them to do that. Because there was still a path for them ready to go, restoring mistakes that were done in the past. Until God come to be liberated. God wasn't liberated yet. So the liberation of God came on January 13, 2001. And you look at the progress from 1960 all the way to 2001, that was a job that was done. 1992, finally, based on their own accomplishment and the success of getting out of wilderness, true parents proclaimed themselves as the desired. And this gave them the edge to begin their mission. 1992 to 2001, 9 years. Troopers have really to raise themselves to the worldwide level. You remember the blessing 1992? You remember the blessing 1995? You remember the blessing culminating until they reach the level of worldwide providential reserve. So this was done until January 13, 2001. Between 1999 and 2000, there were a lot of proclamations related to cut tie with Satan. I always share here. That was Satan had to surrender in 1999. 1999, Rufara told to Satan, you got to surrender, you have to give up right now because you have nowhere to go anymore. And he has solely to accept. And he gave it up in 1999. So 2001, January 13, if you were, all of you were in the church at that moment, but it was a moment of intense emotion. People were shivering. I was shivering. I could not understand that finally the proclamations of God kingship is right here. It never been done before. Maybe we were thinking about it, but we never knew how really has to take place. So it says, Properans held the enthronement ceremony for God's kingship and the champion heaven and earth training center. The programs behind that ceremony had many steps. First, Properans recovered the true family. That was very, very important, very significant. Recovering the true family because the family of Adam and Eve was lost completely. So, as we're reading this morning, we come to understand that what God lost the most, he lost his lineage. The lineage is so important for God, for his kingship, for his blood to continue to flow, and for the establishment of a world of peace. You cannot establish a world of peace with God. So, where God coming from? It's come from Satan's lineage. So, the only way for us really to establish the world of peace is through love, the love of God, because love is the most powerful weapon ever existed. Just as Minister Elijah mentioned in his prayer, going to meet King soon. King Ruth said that he's going to kill True Father, but then True Father says, I'm coming to meet you, elder brother. If you want to kill me, you are there. So we come to understand there are so many steps, the family level step, that as True Father says here, which have been lost. And that foundation, they return the realm of ownership to God by restoring the authority of the elder son. So the elder son has to rise up again. So all of us here, we are in the process of really being restored to the position of the elder son and elder daughter. Those that God lost long ago. Those who carry the blood of God. The authority of the parents. Adam and Eve could not have authority anymore. Satan was in control of them. He didn't even have intermediary. His intermediaries was someone only who come to smash you, kill you, do whatever he wanted to do. So, and the authority of kingship, then offering them all to God. That by true currency recovered God's kingship that had been lost due to the fall of the first human ancestors and established the foundation upon which they proclaimed turning to heaven and earth. So you come to understand that the first 4 years that were in the wilderness was really to proclaim the turning. The kingship of God was on that way. True Father could not proclaim turning without the kingship of God. Having completed all this and with a reverent heart towards God, they prepared and held the enthronement ceremony for God's kingship. The result was that God was able to gain his sovereignty both in heaven and on earth. So Satan has to surrender to open the way for God to come in. Blessed family has to rise up as citizens of that country that is under the sovereignty of God, the authority of God. So as you are here, brothers and sisters, we are all under the authority of God. Under the authority of God. That's why putting the flag there today is recognizing our nation. That's the recognition of our nation, our territory, our constitution, and the lifestyle that we need to bring to people of Roman society. So, we have certain things from that enthronement, God's enthronement, that we have to understand about 4 elements that I'm going to bring here. That led group parents to proclaim Foundation Day. God's enthronement was one of them. That's the starting point. Because what we have really to understand is that according to the growth stage, the center on somebody like Moses, he swept completely the Old Testament age. When Jesus came, he took us to the New Testament age. That's the growing period of the growing process. How you call that? The growing stage. That's the growing stage. So, what does it mean? It means that 2 parents came and opened the completed stage. The completed stage was also supposed to go through 7 years, close to 7 years or 8 years. So 1992, they proclaimed the completed testament age, isn't it? Okay, when you put 7 years on top of 92, give you 99, isn't it? In 1999 is what we say everything turned around, because when 2 fathers succeeded really to bring the blessing of 1992, the blessing of 1995, 97, and he proclaimed the 400 million blessing. Satan had no way but he surrendered in 1999. So 7 years after the proclamations of completed testament age, immediately doors opens up. Now 2 parents have to start preparing the proclamations of God kingship. You got to understand truly the process that is taking place. So from that moment, 2 parents started counting 13 years when turning book is going to take place. Foundation Day is going to take place. Number 13 is so significant that I heard that many traditions don't like that. Many nations don't like the number 13. Unlucky number. Because God held it tight. He protected that number, not to be misused by Satan. And for this, you come to understand that 13 years after the proclamations of God's kingship, we have an opportunity to look at the ideal world of God's kingship, the turning. They therefore embarking on the realizations of God's ideal of creation during the first days of that 13 years period. So the second point here is on February 6, 2003, the holy marriage blessing of the prince of heaven, earth, and opening the gate of turning book and the enthronement ceremony of the king and queen of the blessed family. This is true parents going through the into the growth stage. That means true parents once again need to celebrate their marriage. Yes, the marriage supper of the Lamb. The first one was 1960. The second one came to 2003. And this one here took place where? Here in America and also in China. So when you come to remember all those days, it was the preparations for the proclamations of China. And then they have the Samhain Summit, which is the proclamations of the day before the heaven and the beginning of the day after the coming of heaven. This is also a very, very important. Heaven has come, center on God, center on goodness. God's enthronement take place. Preference, marriage at the stage, the growth stage has taken place. It gives them more doors open right now. So that's what we have here. Yeah, and the era after the coming of heaven, on this day, May 5th, 2004, some have of the victory of the number 10. The number 10, which means going back to the unity. The perfections of Adam and Eve was taken into number 10. Even Adam and Eve succeeded to go over the stage of the complete assessment age, they could have reached number 10. That means the authority of God is being secure. It is absolute. And he's taking the direct dominion over his own hand. This is very, very important, very significant. So on May 5th, Rufara counted May 5 plus 5, they give you 10. That's why he got number 10. Very, very significant. But today, the era before the coming of heaven is giving way to the era after the coming of heaven. Brothers and sisters, we as citizens of the Trinity, we need to know our history. We need to know the history of Trinity citizens and the path that has brought us all the way so far. That's why true parents are insisting that the citizen of Trinity or the truth, the family, the best central family have to live within 3 generations. Because the grandfather teach the children, the father, the parents, who are their children, and they teach also the second, and the last one, that is the grandchildren. So when we know all this, we pass it on to our children and the children of our children. We have to tell them the whole story of Chanibo. This is very, very significant. So the coronations of true parents as the king and queen of peace in heaven and on earth, and the coronations of God, the king of all kings, with the authority of his liberation. This took place March 23rd, 2004. On Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., the coronations of true parents as the king of queen and peace of the third Israel was held. Yes. And they say more than 450 dignitaries from around the world, including members of the United States Senate and House of Representatives and UN ambassadors, were in attendance. This was very significant. You can link what happened on that day to what's happening today. Through moral calling upon all leaders all around the world. I'm having a celebration here, a turning celebration, but also the anniversary of True Parents back. You guys come on because you are all children of True Parents. So when Donald Trump is speaking, he doesn't know that he's speaking to support his parents, True Parents. When my parents is speaking, he doesn't know he's supporting his parents, our True Parents. When Gingrich is speaking, he doesn't know that he's speaking to support our troopers, right? Our legacy. That's what they are doing. When you go see somebody like Ban Ki-moon speaking, he's supporting troopers. All of them are supporting troopers. So, we come to understand more than 450 dignitaries from around the world, including members of the United States Senate and House of Representatives and UN ambassadors, were in attendance. On August 20th of the same year, the coronations of troopers as the king and queen of peace of the fourth Israel was held in the National Assembly Library in Korea. So they held those celebrations 2 times in America, but also here in Korea. On the same day, troopers held the blessing ceremony for reception in Cheonilgu. Cheonilgu proclamation started long before January 13, 2013. Long before. Those were preparation. Because the due date was January 13, 2013. However, the recessions began a little bit before that. Now, our reflection, I don't really want to go that far. What is Cheonilgu to me, brothers and sisters? I'm thinking this. We who are here, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in the church, we are coach. Thank you, 44 years. You are a coach. You see what Dr. Yon is doing? Is coaching. Unfortunately, he's coaching even people of his age. If he's coaching people of his age, what does that tell you? People are going to school, but they are not doing their homework. That's what was Cheonilgu. Because in January 13, 2013, we were supposed to have territory. Let's say we take the Palm Canal and make that Palm Canal a nation, a Cheonilgu nation, and they're asking all Cheonilgu citizens to get there. All families are ready to get there. What does it mean? We're going to leave center on the constitution of Cheonilgu. The constitution of Cheonilgu has 5 branches that we need to stop and understand. It's not given out now because we don't have territory. I remember after the foundation of Dr. Tyler Hendricks, you have all kind of people who are working, going back and forth to work on that constitution. But we have not applied that constitution right now. It's on the side because we don't have to. We can't apply Cheonilgu here because we are under the authority of this nation of America. America has its own constitution. America has its own law. But the Cheonilgu was supposed to have its own law, its own constitution. We're singing the Cheonilgu anthem here, and that's why we put the flag today. So we need really to be coach. All of us, we are in the position of coach. So if they say we could be in Pantana, all of us, what do you think we should be doing? We should be leaving Pantana to go to neighboring countries, to educate them, to love them. Just as good parents are saying, South Korea has to love North Korea. It has to love North Korea completely and unconditionally. We're supposed to be going, loving people unconditionally, applying the law of living or embracing your enemy. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be living center on helping others, serving others. That should be our daily duties and responsibilities. So the turning book, what is turning book for me? I became very curious when, after the proclamations of the enthronement of God kingship. During that period, I was very curious. I want to understand what's going on, what people are traveling to do, and so on and so forth. It's the same when Foundation Day was coming. I could travel to check to find where there are workshops. I want to listen. I want to know what is it that they're telling us is turning book. I have a chance to have this Korean elder who traveled to help us understand that for you to understand turning book, look at Moses leaving Egypt with all the Jewish people to enter Canaan. Very important. You move from Egypt and go to Canaan, the promised land. Egypt that Jews that lived in Egypt, they were slaves. Their mind was turned around. Their heart was turned around. They were just acting like slave people because in Egypt they could not initiate anything. In Egypt they could not fulfill anything. However, God wanted them as they left Egypt, they entered into wilderness to start changing their mindset. Moses was the coach, but Moses had 12 representatives of the tribe. They were supposed to become the coach. And then they have 70 elders. Those elders were supposed to become also like a coach, coaching members of their tribe. What do we have to do today? What kind of life do we have to live today? How are we going to enter into Canaan? What is the expectations of God? So, what is turning book to me? It's a nation of God where we have been raised to coach the remaining world. Just as Jesus was saying, I'm the shepherd, and you guys are the sheep. I got to take care of you. This is what we need really to understand by turning book. As we have raised the flag today, what do you think that we do? As we read the flag of turning book up there, what do you think that we have to do? I think everyone should suppose not to have only family federation flag, because you are just like one among us. But the turning book flag, the turning book flag gives you much more duty and responsibility than family fed. You might be owner of your family, but the highest dimension is being the owner of turning book. Because turning book definitions is that two become one between the spiritual and the physical. I'm responsible of bringing the unity within the nation. That is turning book. What change have I experienced since January 13, 2013? Who can tell me, who can share what he has experienced since the proclamations of Foundation Day? Who can tell that things have changed in his life? You guys are Chonbo. He is Chonbo also. That's the biggest change. My first experience is that I enter into the state of nothingness. You understand what people say sometimes? Nothingness. I think my brother Elijah also experienced it not long ago. nothingness. You enter into a stage, you feel just like floating. If you ever have that experience, until today I want to know the meaning of that. You are just floating. It looks like you are living in isolation. There's nothing around you. You don't have any desire to eat, to do anything. You just completely empty. It's very scary situation. Very, very scary. I experienced that after foundation day. 1 week. I couldn't share it that much because I didn't know what it was. I tell you the truth. You might not want to be in that situation. But I tell you, I still want to know what it is spiritually and potentially. Until it is there, I don't want anything. It is just like I'm cut off also. Nothingness. Or when he was lucky because I had the experience already telling him, okay, it's going to come and it's going to pass. But truly speaking, when you reach that level, you might start asking yourself, am I going to die or what? The stage of nothingness. So the best thing of churning book is experiencing God. We need really to create our family when there is none. The citizens of the churning book have the good of uniting their mind and body, being united as husband and wife, and parents and children. This is our mission. We need really to experience that. So the transformation that takes place, yes, we can feel it, we might have it, and we have to remember that we are not single or simple people. We've been called by God, and we have that mission. So we need really to understand our responsibility. Our responsibility is coaching. It's coaching. It's coaching. It's coaching. It's coaching. We need to coach other people. We need to coach other families. I can tell you that our mission is like this one. Changing difficulties into possibilities. That's our mission. Changing difficulties into possibilities. This building was purchased for a reason. Program purchases for a reason. He wanted to start coaching his children. Breaking as the world. And the speech that he gave was really to help them understand God, through parents, are putting them on the field. What I have educated you, what I have given to you, apply it here. Why here? Apply it why here? It was like a training ground. Apply it here. If you cannot apply it here, you will not be able to apply it somewhere. You should be able to tell people, yes, we met a situation that was difficult. Because sometimes people were excited listening to Kufara talking about his meeting with Gibbison and Gorbachev and so on, those who swear to kill him. But he moved to go and meet them. They were excited. Watch all the video. Everyone wanted to listen to that. Everyone wanted to read to understand the story. And no one was ready to take the same path. But Christ put them here in this situation. So unificationists have to change difficulties into possibilities. We have to love the unlovable. We have to transform any problem into solution. That's why last time, the feeling that I had, based on what we are doing here, I felt positive. And by the way, Elijah told me, we have a meeting last Saturday, right? No, was it last Sunday? When you were given the report? Or Saturday? We are positive financially when we inherited this place, we're negative financially. Because we wanted to know that day, whereas since we're here, what we have in our account is the accumulations from that moment all the way to here. He said, no. We inherited an account that was negative. We turned it to be positive. That's the sign that we are feeling something. You understand that? This is where you can understand yourself. Where am I headed? What am I accomplishing? This is very, very important. So we need to become blessing to other people who are not blessed, who are still in the hands of Satan. This is the challenge of citizen responsibility. That's why Kumara continues to talk to us every single day. So, brothers and sisters, the celebrations of today's day has to bring us back to reflect. Spend time little bit thinking about only the providence of God. Spend time reflecting on the providence of God. How is it moving? What is changing? What is my responsibility? What is it I have to accomplish? Let us spend time a little bit reflecting on it. That's the reason why we are celebrating this. So I believe that we're not going to stop here. We're going to continue. When the sign goes up there, first of all, we're starting Group Parents World. Why here? We're going to tell the Group Parents that the Children's Book flag, which is the kingdom, has been lifted up and put in this place in all Washington D.C. The flag is right there. Amen? Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Sona. Now let's go to the offering and it's Munga, can you give us the offering?
No one to bring.
Yeah, the parents, we are so very grateful to be here today. We're grateful that you are able to show the spiritual today, and that we can walk united, trying to hold. Offering, we ask that you bless those that have given, those that have been giving, and that the coming week will be a beautiful, blessed, and glorious week for everyone. Yes, peace together.
Thank you, Reverend Omar. Now let's go to the announcements. Let's go to our senior pastor of our houses we have for the coming week.
Yeah, thank you. Once again, happy 9th anniversary of Foundation Day, boys. It's a great pleasure, and also already you can see the picture here that Chairman Jacob put out there. That's the flag that is outside. You want to to be seen again, Chairman? Okay. So we just put the picture right now. It wasn't here before. What we have really to continue doing is, as we said, bring the symbol, the sign of the church back up. And this is going to restore the mistake that was made before. And I'm sure we're going to see the Spirit walking, helping us to build this place, make it only a better place. And yes, what I wanted to share also is anybody is really has an opportunity to get connected to Korea all these days. I mean, it's about 2 days now in a row. I know that sometimes we used to have G8, that means all the superpower nations, the economical power of the world together is when you have all those representatives together. But also going to UN, there's a possibility also to having the president, head of state, or attending the summit in UN. But Drumora is championing. Recently they say, okay, there were about 84 head of state that were that attending the World Summit right now. 84 presidents, and some of them could not have visa because of COVID-19 situation. So Drumora is heading towards that stage where she can call President Trump at any time. She can call any other president at that time when she wants them to be there. Really invite them to the blessing ceremony and do whatever she can do. This is a proclamation at a high level that we never seen. So please have a chance for you to do it. to attend and to watch the program going on. It's always live. So we love that. I love that. That's amazing. And because of that, our condition is having some difficulties. But we are thinking putting all those days just at the end of the condition, which means that it might take us one more week before the end, the real ending of that condition. We're going to have 4 or 5 more days that we're going to put behind. So we're going to continue until the condition is on. So, brothers and sisters, right now, that's what I have to share with you. I don't know whether Jacob, you have anything?
We are working on the policy, and we want to make sure that this year, 2022, we are kind of get together and we should run everything according to our will and according to God's will. So if the pastor is work on it, when it's going to finish, it's going to finish the church, we're going to look at it, put your input, and then we can all work on something we want to do, we want to have. Making sure there's no ambiguity in our running system here. You know, we want to put a legacy for ourselves, for our children. And when everybody comes here, everything's done for them to just you know, there's a lot of things in our system is not so, you know, we need to fix it. You know, so that I want everybody to work together. And as we go, it's kind of one process. So we want all your input, your idea, bring them together. When it's finished, it's like one family and there's one policy. Okay? You can have a lot to look at. All right? Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob. So now let's call on our senior pastor Corporal again for the benediction prayer.
Lord Jesus, please join us in prayer. Oh, most precious Lord, have your hands. Oh, you give us good grace of the Lord and mankind. What a day. And praise your sons and daughters that are here just to give up that day and praise in your hands. And sing songs of praise. And when praise express their gratitude and their thanks for your unconditional support, guidance, and love that you brought for us. We are so grateful, our precious beloved friends, that today is February 13, 2022. And praise that coincide with the proclamation of Foundation Day 9 years ago, January 13, 2013. Most precious beloved friends, because you have given us such a wonderful opportunity, Rudy, to partake into this glorious and celebrations, helping in the building of the kingdom, the ideal world, and it is under your total control. We want really to express our gratitude that here in this very building today, this congregation made promise and came to you raising the flag, Johnny Book flag, the last flag in the prince, all the way to the top, floating in the prince. And if there were in the prince some bad spirit, some who there wanted to destroy you, destroy this place, they can't do it anymore. Because your sons and daughters, they have braved difficulties, challenges, rejections, and persecutions. But they stood strong as the like the last soldier to make sure when it that your territory and the prince come back to you. Please remember all of them. Remember their children. Remember when the prince will they can help in many capacities in the place as well. We thank you for really being here with us. We promise to do our best, continue doing our best, and praise to embellish this place and raise it as a monument that we want to give it back to you, back to this nation, and back to our trooper. Our two parents have been expecting from their sons and daughters to take full responsibility. None of us ever shown parents any determination. Please instill in each and every one the spirit of conquerors, the warriors in Christ, those who bring victory, those who carry the fruit and bring them to the Christ. We thank you so much. May your spirit come to dwell here. The spirit of our true parents come to dwell here forever and ever. We thank you so much, most special Lord and friends. As we leave this place today, we're not going anywhere, but our spirit is just right here with you, with our true parents, to make sure we respond when you need us. Thank you. Please bless your sons and daughters that are here, the second generation and the third generations that will be coming, ready to carry on in the parents' way the symbol and the flag, and to continue building on the same foundation of our parents have given to us. Thank you. Please be with us as we offer this moment and this song prayer. From the bottom of our heart, in the name of all blessed Central family gathered here, one name Champion and Calasso, and Solar family, blessed Central family. True.
Thank you, congratulations to all. People who raised the flag today, the Jamaican flag. Yeah, Hillary, Shirley, Stigman. Yeah. It's a victorious day today. Good luck, everyone.